Hello, everybody. Welcome to webinar 5 in our series on mastering innovation ops. Today, we're going to talk about portfolio management and process governance. I'm Paul Heller. I'm your host. I am the chief evangelist for Sopheon and really focus on all things innovation related. I also have a weekly podcast on innovation. I encourage you to listen in or even join me in that podcast if you'd like to. And many of the topics we've been talking about in this series on innovation ops have relevant episodes inside our podcast. So if you're curious about those and you want to drop me an email, paul.heller@sopheon.com, feel free to do that. And I'd be glad to send you some links to relevant podcast episodes for whatever topics you're interested in. So we are in a series. We've been through talking about different aspects, introducing innovation ops. We talked about managing discovery. We talked about managing products. We talked about managing projects. Today, we're going to be talking about managing portfolios and including governance in that. So if you want to go back and listen to any of the previous episodes, I encourage you to do that, especially the first one, which really defines innovation ops and what it's all about. There'll be some links at the end of this presentation that can take you to the Sopheon website where you can watch those on demand. So please feel free to go and check those out. Our speaker today is Mike Bauer, and Mike is the Chief Product Officer at Sopheon, and he has a tremendous experience across a number of different companies in different industries, bringing products to market. And he's currently, as I said, Sopheon's Chief Product Officer, and so he leads product management, design, and product. He's responsible for all the Sopheon products throughout their entire life cycle. And he's really also leading our entry as a company into product-led growth offerings. So, Mike, glad you could join us. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul, and thank you for such a kind introduction. I'm really pleased to be here yet again. Thank you, Paul, for having me on this series again, part 5 of the 6. This one's really going to be about managing governance and portfolios, and it really is the glue that binds all this innovation together. It's kind of the glue jobs that you need for innovation ops, and it's really an interesting set of topics. Strategy gets pushed into these because strategy comes and informs these, and governance makes sure that they get executed on. So we're going to probably bounce around a little bit on strategy as Paul and I go through these slides. And please ask questions as we go. Paul will be monitoring the chat, and we'll be able to answer questions at the end. So please get them in so we can answer them. And we have such a short period of time. Let me get going. So let's start with the basics. What are portfolios? And in a lot of the literature, it always comes up as projects, the portfolio of projects. And really what we want to make sure people understand, especially with kind of operationalizing innovation, is portfolios are more than just products. They can be ideas. They can be projects, obviously, and they can be whole products. And yes, at times, projects equal products until it's in the market. Then you might have multiple projects supporting a product. But in the portfolio world, it's a product. We're trying to manage the portfolio of products potentially. The other thing when we talk about portfolios is really interesting is I think most people end up with thinking the portfolios is this. I got a portfolio of ideas that are kind of going through those beginning phases of their life cycle. I might have some projects. And again, most people think about portfolios of projects, but I also could have a portfolio of products. In my experience, yeah, I had projects going, but my portfolio was the set of products I'm going to market with. And I had some ideas. Now that's kind of the simplistic view. The really interesting view that we see with most of our customers, and you can see it in other industries, even think financial portfolio for your own personal, if you have a financial advisors, they have a portfolio of things they're doing, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, cash, those sort of things. And so what you start getting is actually portfolios can be a mix of ideas, projects, and products. And the idea, though, is these different circles are representing different views of what you're trying to build and what you're trying to manage and manage the performance of. And so most times you might have those views of ideas and projects and products separately, but a lot of our customers and what we see is you're mixing and matching these because you're trying to hit a strategy. You're not trying to hit, oh, here's my ideas for this and my products for this. So for example, sustainability is a critical thing for most companies these days. Well, there's a mix of products being worked on. There might be projects on the underlying how I build these things. How do I source materials? I might have a whole set of ideas from incremental innovations to radical that I wanted to do. And they all get roped in a portfolio of my sustainability portfolio to drive my sustainability strategy. So those are just ways to think about portfolios. Now, those are how you construct them and how you think about them. And what you're trying to manage here is effectively, how do I optimize those to the strategy and how in the particular KPIs you've set up for each of the portfolios. Sometimes it's by return. Sometimes it's by amount of cost reduction. So you may have different metrics for different portfolios that you are driving, because the way you're measuring those things may be different. And so what you're trying to answer question-wise is, what are the best bets for a particular portfolio? One of the things when you get to governance is risk mitigation. You want to prune things. You want to kind of optimize that. It's no different than a financial advisor saying, hey, you need to get out of this stock and you need to go into this mutual fund, because they're trying to optimize the return, however you define return.